Okay, we're going to try to create the leaves now of our corporate tree structure. And the leaves are the vice president objects. And in this case, the branches are division objects. And so I'm going to try to create both the leaves and the branches. First, the leaves in this movie. And as you recall, in the composite design pattern, the idea is to treat the leaves and the branches in the same way. For that reason, we're going to have the leaves and the branches, that is the vice president objects, which are the leaves, the branches, which are the division objects, which can contain more leaves, more vice president objects. We're going to have both of them inherit from an abstract class named corporate. And the corporate class is going to have a getName method, an add method where you can add more vice presidents to a branch, for example, more vice presidents to a division, an iterator method that returns an iterator. By default, this returns null. And a print method that prints out the current information about the current vice president, or prints out information about the division. So there you have it. That's the abstract class. Now we're going to start by creating the leaves inside the tree structure, and that's going to be the vice president objects. And so the vice president class extends the corporate class, as you see here. So we're saying public class VP. Now we're creating the leaves, and that extends corporate, the corporate abstract class. Okay, so that's the VP class. We're going to extend corporate, the corporate abstract class. And so now we've got to override those methods we want to use, and we're going to have a constructor, a VP constructor that you pass the name of the vice president to and their division. That's stored inside the object, the name and the vice president and the division. GetName returns name. We have an empty add method for this because you don't add vice presidents to other vice presidents. You only add vice presidents to branches, that is, to division objects. So this add method is empty, and the print method prints the name of the vice president and their division. Okay, so that is the VP class. Those are the leaves in our structure. In addition, the VP class has an iterator method, which is going to return an iterator for the current vice president. Now, the iterator should only really return multiple objects if you're working with a division. So in this case, the iterator should only return the current vice president. And here is how that's going to work. We're going to import the iterator interface, and this VP iterator class is going to implement the iterator interface. So it's going to have a constructor which you pass the vice president to, and the vice president object is stored internally. The next method is going to return the vice president. The current vice president has next is always going to be false, because the idea here is the iterator is only going to return the current vice president. Now, if you have a branch, then with multiple leaves, multiple vice presidents, then the branch iterator could, of course, return multiple vice presidents. But the iterator of the vice president is only going to return the vice president itself. And the idea is you have an iterator for each vice president because you want to treat vice presidents and divisions, that is, leaves and branches of the tree structure, in the same way in the composite design pattern. And I'm going to have an empty remove method as well. So hasNext is always false, meaning that there's only the current vice president object, and the next method, which returns the next object in the collection, is only going to return the current VP, and that's the way that it works. So now we're going to be able to handle both vice presidents and the branches of the tree structure, that is, the divisions of the corporation, which has multiple VPs in it, the same way by using iterators. The iterator of vice presidents just returns the current vice president, and now the next step is going to be to return an iterator for and create the branch, the division class, that is. So we're going to create that next. This movie has been creating the VP class, which is just the leaves of the tree structure, and next up is going to be creating the division class, which is the branch of the branches of the corporate structure.